Thank you so much, Ankur, for this conversation. It's been long overdue, but we're finally here, and I'm very excited to talk with you, learn from you, and also share my experiences. And hope this conversation is helpful for other designers who are thinking about improv, doing improv, or
Absolutely.
improvisers who want to do design or thinking about design.
Yeah.
Uh, but now, sort of moving into the application part of it. You mentioned that you play improv games, but of course,
Yeah.
don't say that it's an improv game or it's an improv performance, but sort of bring it into your team more organically. I'd like to learn and hear from you of a few examples that you have brought to your team. For example, what was that improv game that you brought, and why did you bring it, and how that helped uh, in either bringing the team together or with a design decision or any outcome from it.
So, so I keep doing improv workshops for creative folks anyhow, and
Okay.
so I'll take examples from all over,
Yeah,
and the
for
ones which have connected the most, because I think that's where you realize that okay, this connects with them even much more, and they remind you of it that we played this game and they remember. One of the games that I've heard which always connects with designers is I'm a tree. So it's a very simple game in which the first person starts the game and goes on this make believe stage. So there's a small area, and everybody else is standing besides, and you go on the stage and say, I am a tree. Then one person joins you and becomes something on that tree. So the other person can come in and say, I'm a bird on the tree. And then a third person comes in and says, I'm the worm which the bird is eating or in its beak, and becomes the worm. So the person who's been there for the longest time on stage will tap one of them and take them out. So if I was the tree, I'll say I take the worm out. So I take the worm out, and there's only the bird left. So the bird will now say, I am a bird. And somebody else will come in and say, I am the feather of the bird. Or somebody say, I am the thoughts of the bird. And this keeps on continuing. It's such a game of support. And the instructions that I would be giving, or the side coaching as we call in improv, would be don't leave your partner alone. You can be anything. You can be thoughts, color. So it connects with designers on multiple levels.
Mhm.
One, it's about support. So it talks about the ensemble, the yes handing that we talked about. Second, divergent thinking. It really opens your mind, because it's you can be anything,
Mhm.
and that's so beautiful. People talk about such interesting stuff that you would never imagine. Every session of my I'm a tree, there's at least two or three things which happen which I would have never imagined that people can talk about it. Then this very simple game which I start usually, it's called alphabets or numbers in different places. Improv games, everybody says different names. So people are sitting, we're going to start a brainstorming session or something, and I'll ask them to say numbers one after the other. So one, two, three, four, but there should be no overlap. If there's an overlap, I'll start with one again. So, initially they can't go more than four or five because everybody's trying to speak. And then I would side coach and say, this is a group. This is not a single person winning or losing. And it changes the perspective. They realize it's not about me saying all the numbers. It's about actually being quieter and letting it happen. They can reach up to 15 easily once they're side coached into two things. One, it's not about speaking, it's about listening. And second, it's about the group. So it also hits on multiple levels. When we are now going to brainstorm, not everybody needs to speak all the time, but we need to build together. And wherein comes another beautiful game, which I call as 3-1. I don't know what others call it. So they are like multiple people standing in a group, four or five, and then we look at each other, and like the way you play rock paper scissors, you will say 3, 2, 1, and say the first thing which comes to your mind. So say 3, 2, 1, and I say chocolate, and you say something else. You say ribbon. Now they're completely disconnected words. So in this small group, these two words are floating, which are ribbon and chocolate.
Sure.
So now, what does a group feel that something can connect it together with ribbon and chocolate? So say in my mind I have something and you have something else. So we'll look at each other like an agreement, and we'll go together and say 3, 2, 1, and I'll say in my mind it's a gift, and in your mind it could be Christmas. So it didn't connect, but it could come very close. And when it comes very close to each other, we clap our hands and we say, we are connected. Now, the idea is if you try to be too smart
Mhm.
and you say James Bond or something which you only know and nobody else can understand, you will never connect. You will spend the whole day and not connect with anybody. So the idea is that you're in a group. We need to understand what this group might think together. And
Yes.
that is the power of the group. So it brings everybody to the same level and understanding that this is a group, this is a team thing, this is not me. So you cannot be me in an ensemble. You are the group. And so I think this works beautifully. Then another game which has worked well for me is called Ace,
Yes.
where you advance color and emotion. So you have three people standing, and you have one moderator. So you start a story. The three people. One is A, second is C, third is emotion. So advance color emotion. The moderator is pointing towards one of them at a time. So you start with the advance and you give them a suggestion or a topic to talk about. Say there's a story about a rabbit. So the A will start. There was a rabbit who was trying to find his food that day. And if the moderator feels, and that is also one of the people actually participating, feels that, we are going too fast, we need to add more vibrancy to where we are, describe where we are. The person moves the finger to C, and then C starts saying that the rabbit had long mustaches. They were actually gray in color. They were, the tail was very small. It was very strange. And then you can move to E as well, which is emotion. How is the rabbit feeling, or other people who are in the scene feeling? And you can go back and forth. If these three people are not in sync together, or what they are building, this will never work out.
Yes.
It brings these people together in unison like an unbelievable way. It always works.
Mhm.
So this is another game which I find very interesting because all four come in tandem. Even the guy who's moderating, she or he becomes also the part of the whole thing, and all four of them are in unison to create a beautiful story. This again is a very beautiful game that people can play.
No, these are great examples and very clear examples of what we can bring and how they are useful
Yeah,
in a design context. Awesome. Thank you so much for this, Ankur. It's been a very interesting, insightful, and sometimes validating conversation to have. And yeah, thank you so much for your time and all your insights. I'm sure this will be helpful. Thank you. Bye bye.
thank you, Vishnu. Lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah.